Hello, and welcome to Sam and Max Squeeze the Pulp, where we watch a classic cult movie. I'm Sam.
I'm Max.
And today we watched, well, not today, but recently we watched Flash Gordon. Neither of us have ever watched it all the way through.
Yep.
I saw the last 5 minutes one time, but this is our first time fully watching it. So what did you think of Flash Gordon?
Well, first of all, I think that any conversation had about watching Flash Gordon for the first time in this year is that most of my familiarity with the concept of Flash Gordon came from the movie Ted, where it is Mark Wahlberg and Ted's favorite movie.
Right, they love it.
And Sam Jones, the star of this film, does appear in that film as himself. And I even went and rewatched it again after we watched Flash Gordon. And it's funny how well they have recreated the visual effects of the scene when we see Mark Wahlberg riding on the Sky Cycle with Flash in his costume recreation, but he's the old version now. And you see all the Hawkmen behind him, which now makes sense to me.
Nice.
I thought it was all right. It was pretty entertaining. There was some cheesy points, but let's get to the specifics. So Flash Gordon is the starting quarterback of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we kept talking during the movie, since we aren't familiar with the properties. Is there going to be a point where he gets powers, or is there going to be a John Carter thing where his human physiology grants him some sort of advantage over someone in this new world? No, none of that.
No.
He just gets lucky with some football-shaped objects and gets lucky with being super attractive. And getting bailed out of situations.
Right. Well, he does win that duel near the end, but I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
The duel against Timothy Dalton. The cast is pretty good.
It is a good cast.
Sam Jones, the guy playing Flash, he was okay.
A little bland as far as cult heroes go.
Yeah, compared to some of the acting we were getting on screen with other characters, with Ming the Merciless being played by Max von Sydow.
Yeah, he was awesome.
The aforementioned Timothy Dalton as Space Robin Hood.
Awesome. And Voltan.
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 Yes, that's Brian Blessed, I believe, or Blessed, I don't know how you say his name, who has been in a few things. And honestly, I really enjoyed, even though his entire face was covered with a mask for the whole movie, Clytus, Peter Wingard, had such a great voice, such a great mannerism.
That is very true. He did a great job.
The movie starts very, very strong, I would say. The opening scene where you're just seeing natural disasters take place on Earth and buttons on a screen of possible natural disasters that could take place while off-screen voices converse casually about being bored and using Earth as a cosmic plaything.
Yeah.
And then that Queen music comes in. And you get an old school opening credit sequence with the Flash by Queen playing in the back, and it really sets you up, man. It gets you off on the right foot. You know you're in for an adventure.
Yeah, that's true.
When we're starting this way.
I like how a lot of the cast, their names is Prince this, Prince that.
Lots of princes.
Lots of that going on in the opening credits.
Yeah, very strong mythology going on Mongo, which we were very confused during the film what Mongo was.
Right. It seemed like a crazy vortex.
It's because it seemed like they were going through a crazy vortex wormhole to a place, but by the time they got there, it always kind of looked like the crazy vortex in the background.
Right.
And they kept talking about planetoids, or they'd say that was planet this, but it's just chunks floating around, and there's no need for any spacesuits or anything when you're flying around this area. You can just ride openly on a Sky Cycle, or War Rocket Ajax just has ship windows on the side that
people lean out open shoot.
But I did look it up, and Mongo is a rogue planetoid that is hurtling through space which is very close to what you said when we talked a little bit after the movie about a couple of things. That was your supposition, which was very, very close, I thought.
Moving vortex was what I thought. Mongo, just moved around as a big vortex and makes the moon crash into Earth.
Right. So, we get a little bit of Earth in this at the very beginning, which is funny because even though throughout the whole film, like, those stakes are whether or not Flash can save Earth or not, and they remind us of that quite a bit in the song. But I felt like it was like a video game when it's like, it's doing that thing, that ludonarrative dissonance where it's like, oh, I have to save my daughter, but I'm going to do 8,000 side quests first.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it seemed very, I didn't feel the momentum towards like, oh, Earth's really in danger.
Yeah, it's like you had to be reminded that, the moon was going to be crashing into the Earth unless they can stop Mongo.
Yeah, see, I had totally even forgotten that specifically was what it was, that the moon was going to crash into Earth.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, I did enjoy the loose DC Comics connection at the beginning where we see the skies turn red as a sign that something is going wrong, which is the traditional thing that happens in a crisis in DC Comics. The skies turn red. It's a crisis.
Nice.
Which is not the only weird DC Comics connection in the movie. Because apparently there is I couldn't find like a direct quote from anybody or like any sort of actual proof, but apparently the like apocryphal story is that the design of DC's Hawkman was like based on the guy's understanding of the Hawkman race in Flash Gordon. And
awesome.
That said, the Flash Gordon movie is the most that the Hawkmen on Flash Gordon have ever looked like the DC Hawkman, apparently. So there may be a little bit of back and forth influencing happening there, but it's definitely an acknowledged thing.
Nice.
So, that's two for two of Pulp movies that have heavily inspired major DC Comics characters.
Yeah, crazy. I really liked the Hawkman.
What do you think of Dr. Zarkov?
Oh, yeah, he was good too. At first it seemed like he wasn't going to be a good guy.
I vacillated wildly back and forth, especially at first, because at first it's like, oh, he's clearly like the good guy crazy. He's the Jeff Goldblum, like, of this Independence Day. And but then when he's pulling a gun on his assistant and like forcing Flash or the girl to be on the rocket ship with him, and it's like he's very strongly like doing villain things.
Oh, yeah, exactly. and then he's good all of a sudden again once they get there.
And then you think they're turning him bad.
Yep.
But then, no dice. That didn't happen.
It does not work at all.
Also, so they didn't erase his memory, and Clytus told the female evil assistant lab person to use the level 3 brain ray on him to like bring him to level 3 intelligence.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're going to do level 6, which they never explain why she's just doing that. Like,
the
thing that Clytus doesn't want. And, and B, does that do anything? Because I think his personality seems very different after that when we get the reveal that he's just been pretending to be a robo-zombie.
Right. He seems way more confident.
He's, like, laughing about things and cheerful and very unconcerned, I feel, about the Earth aspect of all this.
Did he go back with them at the end?
Nobody went back at the end. They weren't sure how to get Flash back, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that they were at the point at the end of the movie that everybody was stuck there at that point. But did the girl talk about leaving? She didn't be like, I'm just going to bounce.
Yeah, they talked about leaving.
I feel it's very unclear.
Yeah, Flash and them were like, nah, we belong on the Earth. That's the place for us.
I do think in the original Pulps, it's definitely a Flash is trapped on Mongo situation.
I like that.
Yeah, which I think that works pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. You get to hang around with Robin Hood and the Thangarians.
Right. Let's talk about Robin Hood. Let's talk about Timothy Dalton, who was Prince Baron.
Prince Baron.
That's another character who definitely was, am I supposed to like this guy or not at first?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when he's fighting with Voltan, who seems very much like a guy we're not supposed to like at first to me, although you at first were like, oh no, we're supposed to like that guy.
Yeah, Voltan's awesome.
That dude loves to laugh.
And loves to laugh.
He's got that.
When he was donking the guards on the head with his stick.
He loved it. The pure joy.
Yeah, he's just having a great time.
One thing I definitely wanted to talk about. Okay, I wrote this down. Gauntlet gun. It was never named. Remember when they shot Flash with a gun that shot little golden gauntlets at him?
The golden hands motif came up a couple of times because then later, when Mongo's daughter was captured by him, she was also on a table being held down by golden hands.
Yes, Aura. And you're right, it was exactly a couple of times, because there's 2 times where there's the weird golden hands being used as restraint. Maybe it's supposed to be like Clytus's symbol? Maybe. But what I really want to talk about is when Flash's true talents really come into play. The one time that the true natural abilities inherent to Flash Gordon are truly effectively used. And that is when, by a crazy amount of cosmic good luck, all those people in Emperor Ming's retinue out in the van, they have those egg things, those egg statue things that they're all holding, which just happened to be almost football shaped, because Flash is useless in hand-to-hand combat until later. One-on-one against Baron, apparently he does fine.
Yeah.
Dude knows how to use a whip, I guess, too, a little bit. But in this one, no chance against the guards until Zarkov gets that ball in his hand. And Zarkov knows it. Like, this is Flash Gordon, quarterback of the New York Jets. All I need to do is get him a roughly football-sized and shaped weapon thing into his hands. And suddenly Flash can tackle guys and get down, and he can escape from any hits, and he can whack them and throw perfect passes that like bonk these guys with their advanced weapons, and nobody can get a shot off at him. And it's a thing. It's a real thing. Let me tell you. And the girl starts doing like cheer squad things.
Right.
Cheering them on, go Flash, and
right.
all this.
Even though up until that point, all we really know about her is that she is a travel agent.
Right, she's a travel agent who's afraid to fly.
Right.
So she's having a real bad time.
Yeah, that's true. It goes up in a rocket.
And the scene leading up to this is deadly serious. We've just seen Ming order a man to fall on his own sword and then murder that man in cold blood when right for retribution, but still, like we're having these stakes established, and then we get this wacky football scene. That, I don't know. That's kind of the point of the movie where it started to be like, I think it went too far into the leaning into the cheesy aspects. I think it really needed to be earnest, and they might have been going for laughs at a time when they shouldn't have been.
Right, because that's the time when the stakes seemed high.
Right, exactly. And just the ability of Flash to become so effective at that. They get him. They do get him.
Do get him.
But,
yeah, it seems like security is pretty lax in Ming's palace.
Super lax, because all they have to do is throw Flash in a uniform, and they can take off. And somebody saw him, because later they're like, you left with a pilot. Like, who was it? And they have those Big Brother floating eye robots around all the time. So
right, though we don't see much of them after that initial time when
Zarkov has never considered that a robot might have a listening device attached to it, even though the robot spoke to them a moment ago.
Oh yeah, it's listening to everything they say. That gets them into trouble like 2 times.
Yeah. But for a scientist, this guy is like all over the map. I must say.
Yeah, I do like how the little robots shoot the gun and just vaporize it without
damaging the pocket.
That's pretty cool.
That's some super advanced technology.
That's super advanced.
Once again, guards that have that tech available to them shouldn't be losing to me at football. So then they go to Donkey Kong Endor.
Yes, they do.
Where the tree people live, and they have their hilarious scorpion-based game of chicken manliness contest.
Yes, they do.
And I was really convinced that the test involved actually being able to grab that thing and haul it out. They made the tail so handle-shaped.
Right? Exactly. Why wouldn't that be the test?
And it's like, we're watching the test happen, and you looked at me and you were like, well, Flash is going to be doing that.
Yeah, I hoped.
And you were right. Let's see. What else is in my notes here? Everything with Prince Voltan and his retinue and the place where they lived put me in a very strong Clash of the Titans mindset.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Their garb for one, with their gold skirts.
Yeah, and stiff wings.
Stiff wings.
Very stiff wings.
Yeah, we got a lot of shots of them flying.
I liked all of that. That
Me
was
too.
funny.
No, it was awesome.
It literally just became like a heavy metal music video for the whole ending sequence.
Yeah.
Let's see. Clytus, I thought was actually a little scarier than Ming. Ming had that sort of like detached general sense of like, oh yeah, I'm the emperor and I have powers.
Right.
But, like, people do things for me. They
Right.
mostly just bring me women.
Whereas Clytus was going from place to place serving out justice.
Yeah, his version of justice.
Right.
Clytus and the secret police. Clytus was like visually exactly in between Frank Langella's Skeletor from the live-action He-Man movie and freaking Destro from G.I. Joe. And his like role was also very Destro, I thought.
That's true.
And man, when Clytus dies...
I know.
When Clytus dies, that's the point of the movie where we realize, oh, they're not fucking around. They're not like setting up like an extended adventure for Flash Gordon here. Like, we're going to deal with some shit in this movie.
Right, exactly.
And when Clytus dies, his eyes and tongue...
They melt out of his mouth.
They're like, yeah, they squeeze out like one of those like rubber doll guys where it's like has a mouth and a nose and everything. You squeeze the body and all the parts like honk out.
Yeah. He did get a spike through his head.
He got a spike through much of his body.
Yeah, not just his head.
Yeah, but Flash took him out hilariously easy too. It was very funny. Like, he's dead. He's dead. Oh, they made sure we knew he was dead. Like, no, like, oh, you don't know what's behind the mask. Like, maybe he could have survived that. Oh no, like his eyes and tongue came out like a damn Mr. Potato Head.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good moment.
And overall, I really liked the production design of the movie. I thought everything looked awesome. All the costumes were great. All of these sets were wonderful. Everything in Ming's like royal receiving chamber with all the colors and the different species and garbs and everything except for, what am I going to say?
You gonna talk about Flash?
No, I'm talking about the lizard people.
Oh, right, the lizard people. I forgot about them.
Those should have just been axed from the movie. I don't know how important the lizard people are to like hardcore Flash Gordon lore people, but that did not work at all.
No.
That was like a kabuki situation where we're supposed to just ignore the person in black doing things, like to manipulate the colorful parts that we can see, but
no, you could just see their eyes.
In the mouths.
In the mouths.
Unless the lizard people are specifically described in the original Pulps as having their eyes inside of their mouths, surrounded by fangs. That needed to get an axe.
Oh, yeah. But, when talking about the costumes, I mean, Flash himself had, 3, 4, 5 different costumes in this movie, which was very nice. They all had his logo.
How did he get his lightning bolt perfect on the red tank top?
I'm not sure, because that was definitely a guard's uniform.
That was 1,000,000% a guard's uniform.
Yeah,
he was
totally
stripped
took
down
away
to
his clothes. They took him away.
Yeah, they made sure. They wanted it, just like I was reminded of Doc Savage again. It's like, oh, you got to give us like the full body, like Greek hero shot. Like, show us why you hired this guy whose acting talent is, but man, he looks right. Drink it in.
Yeah, exactly. But still, very cool that you got to wear many different outfits.
And I really enjoyed his various costumes, and the red of everything was very striking.
Yeah.
War Rocket Ajax looked pretty cool.
It did.
I think in fact, I know this because it says so on the page. It's the only ship in Ming's fleet. It's used for every job they have. It'll destroy a planet. It'll go pick up a corpse.
Huh.
Because that's the famous line: "Dispatch War Rocket Ajax to bring back the body."
Right.
And but I really enjoyed the design. But man, when those portholes started popping open during the Hawkman assault,
I know.
It was so funny.
That was so funny.
Oh, it's like a sailing ship.
Yeah.
Or a submarine that's above water, so you can go onto it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. What else do I have here? Oh, how about the fact that Mongo has the exact same wedding march as Earth?
Well, I think he probably just stole Earth's wedding march because he was marrying an Earthling.
You think that he told, not Clytus, he told that chick, like, hey, like beam down into Earth's like transmissions or whatever and figure out what their wedding march is.
I just figure he knows all about Earth.
Oh, no, he didn't. Well, maybe he knows all about Earth now. At the very beginning, he definitely didn't know about Earth because the line is, Clyde is on board. What plaything can you offer me today? And Clyde is like this small planetoid Earth.
Yeah, that's true. But they've been there before.
Yeah, every 1,000 years.
Every 1,000 years.
Which the wedding march definitely would not have been in existence. The previous I'm sure the wedding march wasn't in existence 1,000 years ago.
You're right about that. You got me there.
I guess that's all my notes really. I mean,
how about the way that the Emperor died?
Oh yes, so Flash finally gets the dope ass sword he should have had for I want to say 2/3 of the movie. Get him that sword early.
That golden sword was sweet.
But yeah, Ming dies. Flash, because all Flash has to do for the entire like climax of the film is one, he has to decoy them to bring out War Rocket Ajax so that they can capture it.
Yep.
And then he has to fly War Rocket Ajax right into Ming's palace.
Yep.
And the song is playing. You know, he's going to save every one of us.
Yes, he does.
All he has to do, I guess, killing Ming will do it because Ming has to push the button or whatever that's going to cause the moon to come down.
Yeah, but he already knocked the moon out of orbit.
So I'm not sure exactly why the tension is all gone once Ming is dead.
Right.
And is Ming dead? Because his voice comes out of the machine at the end and he's like, Flash Gordon, isn't he?
That's a good point. He does seem like he just teleports away, but he got skewered by the ship.
He got skewered pretty... Oh, yeah, did I gloss over that?
He did gloss over that.
Yes, he got really gnarly, like the point of the ship right through him.
Yeah, right through him. Hilarious.
Yeah, murdered by his own war rocket. And then everybody cheers, thanks Flash, as Prince Baron takes over as King of Mongo and gets the princess, who was very nebulous about her allegiances throughout the movie. Oh, I guess until she got the boar worms that we never saw.
After the boar worms that we never saw, she was like, oh, I've seen the error in my way.
Right. So she's good now. Baron's not such an asshole.
Yeah, Baron, they made him good too.
But yeah, with Flash doing the classic, that was probably my favorite moment in the movie, honestly, was about like 3 minutes before it happened, they show us the little quick close-up of the whip getting wrapped around one of the spikes. And I was like, oh, Baron's going to fall off and Flash is going to use the whip that's tied around the spike in order to go down and save him. And then he's going to be on his team. And then,
No, that's exactly what happened.
and I love it.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Because Baron is so instantly, like, at first I was, fuck you, Flash. But now I was like, I love you, Flash.
I'm your man forever.
I'm your man. Yeah, loving that good Dalton. Just as much as you can get.
That's true. It's really suited for that role.
Yeah. Anything else you can think of you want to mention? I think we pretty much touched on the things we liked, the things we didn't like.
Yeah, I think so. That's about it.
And I want to once again thank our listener Steve for loaning us this film to watch.
Yes, thank you, Steve.
And we will be back with some more movie reviews whenever we get around to watching another one.
Yeah, and if there's a movie that you want us to watch, you just let us know in the comments or send us a message because we love watching movies, especially if we haven't seen them, and it's more fun if it's a suggestion from a listener.
Yeah, and we sound like a bunch of know-it-alls all the time, but there's a lot we haven't seen. So.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, subscribe. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next time.